Okay, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use one of our textbook home assignment questions to illustrate how to construct a Pareto chart. In order to construct a Pareto chart, we need to first have all the categories gathered, and then we need to also have the data. So here is an example. A local bank keeping track of different reasons that customers phone the bank, and then they record the number of phones. They kind of count number of phones in 2 months, and they categorize them into 5 categories. Number 1, credit card payment. Number 2, transfer call to another department. Number 3, balance questions. Number 4, payment receipt questions, and number 5, financial charge questions. And here is the amount, the number of calls they received in 2 months. So in order to construct a Pareto chart, first I'm going to copy the reasons. So this is the reasons that customer phoned the company, and this is the number of calls the bank received in 2 months. So I'm going to copy that and paste here as well. So remember, they're in 2 columns side by side. So these categories, the reasons and the number of calls, are in 2 columns side by side. So step number 1 for Pareto chart construction is to rank the categories from largest to smallest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight, start from the category names to all the data, and then I'm going to go to data, sort by number of calls, sort on volumes from largest to smallest, and I click OK. So right now I have all the reasons with the number of calls sorted in order from largest to the smallest. That's step number 1. Step number 2, find the percentage for each categories. I'm going to start calculate the percentage for each categories from column D here. No, please note that I leave 1 column blank. I'm going to use that later. So this is the percentage for each category. In order to do that, I need to get a total first. So I'm going to actually auto sum all these 5 categories. I have 854 total phone calls. So the percent for balance questions is going to be 377 divided by 854. So I have 0.44145. I change that to percentage. I need more decimals. Let's say 2 decimals. So I have 44.15%. And this is the way to calculate the percentage. And there is a more general way to do it, which is instead of using the numbers directly, I'm going to use Excel to do a small programming. What I'm going to do is I'm going to key in equal. I'm going to collect the number of phone calls. I use that for balance questions and divide it by the total, which is 854. I'm going to hit enter, and that gives me the same number, and then I can drag it down and do it on one. So I need to lock this cell because this is the total cell. I put $2 to lock the cell, and then I'm going to move my mouse to the right corner. When I saw the black cross, I'm going to hold my mouse and drag it down. So by doing this, I can automatically calculate the percentage for each categories. And the good thing for that is, suppose I got another number here, I change it to 400. and everything changes automatically. Everything changes automatically according to the change here. So this is how to find the percentage for each categories. Step number 3, compute the cumulative percentage. I'm going to use this line here. So this is my cumulative percentage. If I only consider category 1, the balance questions, the cumulative percentage is 44.15%. If I consider the first 2 categories, balance questions and credit card payment questions, cumulatively, these 2 categories together count 72.83% of my phone calls. So if I consider 2 categories, the cumulative percent of these 2 categories is going to be 72% and 83%. And if I consider the first 3 categories, the balance questions, credit card payment questions, and transfer calls to another department, they totally cover how many percentage? 89.81%. So if I consider 4 categories, I sum these 4 up, that gives me 96.49%. And if I consider all the 5 categories, I sum all of them, I should get 100% because that's all the categories. So remember, when you calculate the cumulative percentage for your last category, you should get 100. You should get 100%. So for that, I have done the cumulative percentage. I have the categories and I have the number of phone calls. The last step is to construct the diagram and find the way to fill for Pareto analysis. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to highlight these 3 columns, the categories, the number of calls, and the cumulative percentage. And I'm going to draw the chart. So I'm going to insert a column chart first. So insert, let's see, a 2D column, the first one. So this is the chart. So I have my number of phone calls for each category here. That's the number of calls. And I also have a cumulative percent, which is fairly small because this is less than 1 compared to number of phone calls, 377. So I can barely see that. What I need to do next is I'm going to put the cumulative percentage on another axis. So I need a secondary axis so I can use that to plot my cumulative percentage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the data, click the cumulative percent data. Where is here? It's going to take me a while to click that. So it's here. Alright, let's, okay, there we go. And click the data. Oops. I'm going to click the data here and right click my mouse and choose the option Format Data Series, and then check the option Secondary Axis. So by doing that, I can plot my cumulative percentage on the secondary axis, which is on the right side. But if you see the overlapping of the number of calls and the cumulative percentage, we really couldn't see the number of phone calls for these 2, 3, 4, and 5 categories because of the overlapping. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to change this second axis to a line chart. So I'm going to click the data here, any of the red bars, right click my mouse and change the series chart type to line. So to line, and then I click OK. So right now I got my number of phone calls on the bar chart, which is the blue bar chart, and I got my cumulative percentage on the red line, So I have both my number of count, the frequencies, and my cumulative percentage on the same chart. So this is called the Pareto chart. Remember, sometimes instead of using the actual number of cores or number of counts of frequencies, we use the cost. The dollars. So basically what you need to do first is to actually calculate the cost first and put it here, and then repeat step 1 through step 4 to get the Pareto chart. Alright, that's how to construct a Pareto chart. Thank you.